Let me just step back a couple of places here and talk about fuel models. This is always a big one. And I think that this is, it's a great story, and it's worth understanding because I think it leads really to where I see the future. Because I would like to see, just as a starting point in the discussion, is I'd like to see fewer fuel models. And I'll tell you how I came to that conclusion. At any rate, we started out with the fuel models that Dick Rothmel and his group gave to us. Well, what were the fuel? They were using the fuel models to test their spread model. They were testing, of course, the fuel characteristics and how they affected spread. Otherwise, surface area to volume ratio, the bulk densities, the compactness, and all the other things that went on moisture content. And so on was kind of on the side. But the point is, what are the fuel characteristics and how did it affect the way that the model responded? So they put together different sets of these fuel descriptors, which were fuel models. And they went all the way from the grass model up to through slash and so on. So they had 12 models. Well, we made, I guess, an attempt to simplify it a bit with the 72 system. We cut it down, I think, to 9. I think we got rid of the slash models and one of the grass models or something that we decided we could simplify. We ended up with basically with a different set than Dick and his folks had. Well, we didn't think that was such a problem until 76, when Dick and Rothmel and Frank Albini started teaching the fire behavior prediction system here in Tucson at Marana at NARTC. Well, my phone started ringing immediately. Dick's got 12 models, how come you only have 9? Because it was a perception out there, an interesting perception, but people were really excited about being able to describe their own fuels. And they felt like that if there was going to ever be a solution to world hunger, it was going to be fuel modeling. And so we had this challenge of trying to show consistency with the other products that were coming out of research. Well, we were kind of blindsided in the fire danger program with this intention of, and there's no reason why we would have not been blindsided. I mean, we weren't communicating with Dick every day. And my first presentation of how I wanted to do the 78 update was that I wanted 4 fuel models. Well, I tell you, I was nearly crucified over that because it just wasn't going to fly. And no matter how I talked and no matter how I pleaded in that particular meeting, I was just basically ordered that we would not only keep the models we had, but we wanted more. So I said, fine, how about 20? Yeah, 20 sounds good. So I went back to Missoula and we put together, or Jack Cohen put together 20 fuel models. And I'm sorry, but that's just exactly what happened. Now, did it mean that we were sloppy and didn't, we pursued every bit of data we could find on fuel bed characteristics, but basically the number 20 was, how about 20? And that's the way we came up with 20. And, but my whole goal going into that meeting was to cut back from 9 to 4. And my whole goal was to quit describing or selecting fuel models on the basis of the description of vegetative types and more on the characteristics of the fuels themselves. Not only the physical characteristics like the presence or absence of different classes, but also on the response of those fuel beds or fuel complexes to changes in the weather. But you don't have oak sort of complaints, or you don't have ceanothus. No, why do you just say chaparral? Why don't you say, build one for this or build one for that? Well, I wanted to get away from that whole business. So that's kind of the story of fuel models. And over the years, as we've gone and been able to develop the ability to test the performance of these different models, we can see that there are groups of models or I'd say the fuel models that group themselves by response, which gives the whole clues to how to reel this thing back to some more practical simplification of this fuel model selection process. And it's been kind of a nightmare, and it's been difficult. My intent for the 78 update was to go back to like 4 fuel models. Okay, I could have gone to 5. I mean, I would have compromised, perhaps, but the point is that I wanted very few fuel models, and I think that can be done today. The point is that we can, through our analysis, we can identify those models that would be really applicable in a lot of different environments, and we can come down from 20. I think that would help a lot.